Hi, hello, welcome. My name's Randy. I love everything crochet. And if you love everything crochet, you should definitely subscribe to my channel, go to my Instagram, follow me there, as well as you can go over to my Etsy and follow as well as shop some of my creations. I do have a little updating I need to do that, but we'll get there when we get there. Anyways, today we'll be making a lobster. He's like a big plush like pillow lobster. And if you have hung around for a while, you are not crazy. I have made a lobster in the past. He is a simpler version of this one. This one I would definitely say is a little more to it. He has the little legs, he has a full arm, everything. So if you want a simpler version of this, and I would say borderline closer to like more beginner friendly, definitely go to my page. You might have to scroll a little bit. It might be a year, it might be close to a year since I posted it, and go check that video out. But if you want something a little bit more detailed, like you can see the detailing in his tail and everything, the extra legs, the little things on the front of his face, you'll want to hang around and follow this tutorial. I think the only change I want to make to mine is I want to move his eyes closer inward. I haven't really decided. But yeah, before I just blabber on, this is all made with single crochet. I would definitely say this isn't super beginner friendly. It's a little bit more tedious, a lot of details to it. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started on making this guy. To start our lobster, you're gonna need your yarn. I am personally using Premier Little Bunny yarn in the color light blue. I know blue is not the conventional color for a lobster. I know there are like blue lobsters and sometimes portrayed blue, but this blue matches my decor a lot better than red does. I also don't currently have red, so we're going with blue. You can make your lobster whatever color you please. I am going with this really pretty light blue, which, like I said, goes with my decor really well. So to start, we're gonna do our magic ring. I like to do 4 stitches, then pull a loop through the last one, creating a circle. I don't know why my camera doesn't want to focus. And then I'm going to put 6 to 8 stitches into the center here. So that's 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 8 stitches into this center loop. And now I'm going to remove my stitch marker. Oh, it is locked. And I'm going to do 2 stitches into every stitch. And what I mean by 2 stitches into a stitch, I'm going to go through my first loop and then go back into that one and pull a second stitch through, then go into my next one, pull a single stitch in, and then go back into that same one and put a second stitch. So I had 8 stitches the last round, and now I'm going to have 16, because we're going to do that in every stitch all the way around. Once you are back around to the start, for our third round, we're going to do 2 stitches into the first. So we'll go into the first loop, then back into it, then a single stitch, which just means 1 stitch in the previous round, and then 2 stitches into the next, then a single stitch. And we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. For the next round, 2 stitches into the first, then 1, 2 single stitches, then 2 stitches in the next, then 2 single, repeating all the way around. For the next round, 2 stitches in the first, then 1, 2, 3 single stitches, then 2 stitches in the next, then 1, 2, 3 single, repeating all the way around. In the next round, put 2 stitches in the first, then 1, 2, 3, 4 single stitches, then 2 stitches in the next, then 4 single, repeating all the way around. 2 stitches in the first, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single stitches, then 2 stitches in the next, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, repeating all the way around. For the next round, 2 stitches in the first, then 6 single stitches, then 2 stitches in the next, then 6, repeating all the way around. Now for this part, you will want to make it as big as you want, basically what will be like the face. Like this is the frontmost part of the head, so we'll have his like little antennas slash tentacles, the little whiskers hanging off of him up here, as well as his eyes. And then like his arms will go back here, his legs, so on and so forth. So that's how big that will be how big you want basically the body. So this will be my last round of expanding because I don't want to make it too big. We'll see. I might want to expand one more round, but for now I think this will be my last round of expanding because I feel like this is a good size for what I'm trying to do. After that last round, I am just going to do a single stitch in every stitch, repeating all the way around because this is going to be like the physical body part. I don't know how many rounds I'll do yet. This is my first time doing this project, so I'm going to do a single stitch in every stitch. I will count how many rounds I do, and then I'll come back letting you know how many rounds I personally did. You are more than welcome to adjust based on how the size of your yarn, how big you want your lobster, so on and so forth. Of course, if you want it smaller, you might want shorter. If you want to make it even bigger, you might want a longer piece. So I did 20 rounds of staying the same to get the body going here. And now I am going to reduce to slowly bring the shape inward towards where the tail will go. And we're going to reduce 2 stitches into 1, so you go through the first stitch and the second stitch, pulling a loop through each time, and then we're going to pull through making 1 single stitch since we're reducing, and then we'll do 6 single stitches, then reduce 2 stitches into 1, then 6 single, repeating all the way around. For the next round, we're going to reduce again, and just to show a better clip, go into our first stitch, pull a loop through, go into our second stitch, pull a loop through, then pull yarn all the way through all the loops on your hook, just to show in case there was any confusion. Then I'm going to do 5 because I have 5 single stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then reduce 2 stitches into 1, then 5 single, repeating all the way around. I have enough room here for the claws, the little legs. I'm just kind of trying to reduce it for the tail now. Reduce 2 stitches into 1, then 4 single stitches, then reduce 2 stitches into 1, then 4 single, repeating all the way around. This next round we're going to reduce 2 stitches into 1, then do 1, 2, 3 single stitches, then reduce 2 into 1, then 3 single, repeating all the way around. The next round we're going to put a single stitch in every stitch because we're going to do like the first, like, I don't know what it's called, part of the tail, how they kind of have the individual pieces. So single stitch in every stitch, repeating all the way around. I did 3 rounds of a single stitch in every stitch, repeating all the way around. It didn't really give me the effect I want it to. I am going to leave it because I do like the shape it's giving me, but I want to kind of create like the different sections of each part of the tail. I want to do, I think, 3. So I'm going to play around with how I want to do that. For the last round, I put 2 stitches in the first, then a single stitch, then 2 stitches in the next, then a single stitch, repeating all the way around so I can kind of have like a bump for the tail. And now I'm going to put a single stitch in every stitch, repeating all the way around. I did 3 rounds of staying the same, a single stitch in every stitch, repeating all the way around. And as you can see, I kind of have this piece that goes out, which I wanted, and now I want to go back in. So we're going to reduce 2 stitches into 1, so go through the first loop, then the second, pull through, making 1 stitch, and then we're going to do a single stitch, reduce 2 stitches into 1, then a single stitch, reduce 2 stitches into 1, then a single stitch, repeating all the way around because I want it to pretty drastically turn inward. It did come inward a little bit, but I want to reduce a little more because we are trying to shrink the tail to be able to end the piece. So I'm going to reduce again, by reducing 2 stitches into 1, then a single stitch, then reduce 2 stitches into 1, then a single to really come inward. For the next round, we're going to put 2 stitches into the first, and then we're going to do 3 single stitches, then 2 stitches the next, then 3 single, because we want to kind of also go out again, like how this is like curved out. We want to do that again, but at a smaller scale, since we are going inward to complete the tail. For the next 3 rounds, we're going to put a single stitch in every stitch, repeating all the way around. The next round, you'll reduce 2 stitches down into 1, repeated all the way around. So reduce 2 stitches into 1, reduce 2 stitches into 1, reduce 2 stitches into 1, because once again, we're coming in for our the next round. Put 2 stitches in the first, then 1, 2, 3, then 2 stitches in the next, then 1, 2, 3, repeating all the way around. Once again, we're kind of trying to go out to create our last little piece of our tail before the fin on the end. The next 3 rounds, do a single stitch in every stitch, repeating all the way around, just like we did with the 2 previous sections of the tail. So I have added eyes. You can add eyes however you like. You can add safety eyes. I might prefer to move them closer to the center. We'll see. I just embroidered them on there, but you can kind of see like what I was talking about, where you kind of have these 3 notches like a lobster tail. I'm trying to decide how to end off our tail here. I think I'm going to do a couple rounds expanding to get that loop where it puffs out, and then we're gonna cut in and finish it. So we're gonna do 2 stitches in each stitch. So 1 and 2, and because we want to like widen it quickly, I'm going to do that in every stitch, just 2 stitches in every stitch all the way around. And I think I'm going to do that for 2 rounds so I have it really come out. And once I stuff this a little more, you'll be able to see, because I really want it to come out. Then we'll come back. I changed my mind. I'm not doing 2 rounds of 2 stitches in every stitch. I'm just going to do the 1 round of 2 stitches in every stitch, and now I'm going to do 2 rounds of a single stitch in every stitch, repeating all the way around, and then we'll end our tail. So this is the fin tail. I personally want mine to be unstuffed. You can stuff it and then seal it tight. I want mine to be unstuffed, so I'm going to do 2 seams here. So I have my tail of my yarn long enough to fit it to do the 2 seams here, but I'm just going to weave back and forth like so to seal up the end. And also take my stitch marker out here, but just weave back and forth for this side. Now to add my second seam here, I'm going to weave into here and pop out where I want to put my second seam. And I'm just going to weave all the way through, but very similarly like I did with this, but just kind of like weave back and forth all the way across. And then I'm going to pull my yarn through so it's kind of, whoops, sealed here. And then it's also going to kind of flare it out a little more too and give it a little more definition. Then because I need to sew this end, going to then kind of do the opposite where I go into here, then pop out the top, and then just weave back and forth till I get to where I already sealed up that side of the tail. I was going to do his like little feelers up here, but it ended up being too thick. But it's the perfect size, a little long for the legs. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the legs, but we are gonna still do it a little shorter. I'm just gonna fold this one to fit the rest. You know, since I already cut the yarn, like was ready to put it to his face and it was way too thick. So let me find the end of my yarn here. You want to make sure you leave enough of a tail so you can sew it onto the body. And then we're going to want to do a starting chain of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you'll do 4 rows of 7 single crochet stitches. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and once I find the stitch, 6 and 7. Then you'll flip your work, go into the first stitch and do 7 single stitches again, and you'll do this for 4 rows in total. You want to do 6 little arms of the starting chain of 8 and then 4 rows of 7. So to seal our legs, so they'll be one solid piece rather than having these 2 ends like this, I just like to get my yarn and the needle here, and then I literally just kind of similarly to the tail just weave back and forth, and I like to pull it a little tight as well because it gives it kind of that curved look, which I want it to kind of curve a little bit. So I'm just going to go all the way up to the top here, pull it tight. So it can kind of curve like that. And I actually decided for this, I'm going to do the same, and then I'm just going to add the other part of the claw. So this will be the arm, and then I'll seam it, and then add the thicker part of the claw. But jumping ahead of myself a little bit. But we're just going to stitch these. Actually, I might add the arms first. But I'm going to have 3 on each side, and then the arms. And also for the front whiskers, I'm just going to do a string, which we'll add in a minute as well. But we're going to start for the base of the big claw. We're going to do a starting chain of 12 and then 4 rows of 11. And we're gonna once again also fold it like that so it can be the arm. But we obviously need I'm sorry, I'm saying obviously too much. But we're gonna need a bigger part of the claw, and I'm going to make that now and then tell you how I made it to fit this. You want 2 of the arms that are 12 starting stitch, then 11 single stitches for 4 rows. Next we're gonna do the claw part, which I'm still kind of like debating how to attach this fully here, but to do the claw, and I'm almost out of my second skein of yarn, so I think I have just enough to finish this project, which is great. I love that. We're going to do a starting chain of 12, or actually of 10. Starting chain of 10. Then after your starting chain of 10, we're not going to go in the first stitch, but we'll go in the second stitch, and we'll do a row of single crochet of 9 stitches. And basically that will be our pattern. We are just going to skip our first stitch for every row to slowly reduce into a triangle like so. And by skipping the first stitch rather than weaving through, by not putting reducing 2 stitches into one, you kind of get this curve, which is what we want to have, kind of that claw shape to it. And then we're gonna continue with the pattern. Skip the first stitch, go into the second. So this row will be 8. And you're basically gonna wanna keep doing that until you get down to 1 single stitch for your row. So just keep reducing by 1 all the way to 1 single stitch, and then you'll have your claw. All right, so I folded this in half, I sewed it, and then I also sewed down the seam of the claw here. I still have it attached, and I'm basically gonna just kind of fold it again where it's a little more flat here, so I have a nice flat area to sew and attach this, so I then can sew it to there. So this is definitely kind of go with your heart time, but I am gonna fold this inside corner in. I'm gonna stitch this shut, and then I'm going to stitch it all the way down on here, so I have a crab claw. Or a lobster claw. I'm gonna do that with both the front claws, and then I'm going to attach the legs, and then we're done. I forgot to add these pieces, so basically this is all just one piece. I attached this one, and then I went through and how I attached it, because I'm also gonna have to trim this one once I'm done attaching, is I just went through the yarn in a loop and then tied it off because I want it nice and thin, almost like catfish whiskers. And then I'm gonna cut it to be the same length as the other one, and I have the 2 little things, and now I will attach everything. And once you assemble everything, you have a lobster plush / pillow. I'll have it like better where you can see it, oops, at the beginning, but yeah, that is how you make this lobster. I do have an older video that is a simpler version of this, so if you're interested in that, you can go look back to, I think, almost a year ago now and see the simpler version, but this is kind of the updated version, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you make this lobster, please let me know down below, as well as go to my Instagram and either send me a photo or tag me in the photo if you post it on your own Instagram. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye!